in the morning. I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not unbreakable.
But it causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease, because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements. And eventually people can develop dementia, like Alzheimer's disease. And Jake Paul got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. And so I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull, and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising of the brain.
Jake
Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side. So both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully heal.
Drinking every night and doing all this and beat you.
Yeah, it's bad.
If you look at the fight, he was much slower. He only threw a hook. Like,
Jake Paul's boxing fantasy came to a brutal end with his jaw shattered, his teeth gone, and Gervonta Davis watching from the sidelines with a smile. The real surprise is not that Anthony Joshua knocked him out, but how quickly and violently the illusion fell apart, and why this moment may permanently change Jake's future in the sport. This was not just a knockout. It was a public teardown. When Jake Paul hit the canvas for the fourth time and never got back up, the fight was over, but the real damage was only starting. Stay right here, because next I am breaking down the hidden harm most people missed live, and why this defeat cuts much deeper than anything the record books will ever show.
he was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga and I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real. So
Hours later, Jake shared the x-rays showing a jaw snapped clean in 2 spots with titanium plates ready and teeth missing, yet somehow the caption was even more shocking than the image itself. From a hospital bed, he called out Canelo and told people not to scroll, and that one post alone set off an explosion of reactions that rocked the boxing world.
Times pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching.
That call out spread fast, but for all the wrong reasons, as fans laughed, fighters shook their heads, and insiders quietly admitted what they already understood. Anthony Joshua's power is not a joke, and Jake Paul stepped straight into a completely different level of violence. And in just a moment, I will explain why doctors believe this kind of damage changes everything for him going forward.
To Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Gervonta joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see above.
Behind the scenes, the reality was far darker than anything shown on Instagram, with emergency surgery lasting through the night and surgeons working urgently to stabilize fractures they normally see in serious car accidents, not inside a boxing ring. And if that sounds extreme, keep watching, because the medical details that followed are truly disturbing.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would...
For hours on the operating table with titanium plates fixed into place, and doctors quietly admitting that the final right hand shattered both sides of Jake's jaw at the same time. A level of force that suddenly made every warning experts gave before the fight feel painfully accurate. And this is the point where the story takes a brutal turn.
On Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times. 1, by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved.
While some people expressed sympathy from a distance, Gervonta Davis watched the situation unfold with clear satisfaction, and his reaction immediately divided the boxing world into opposing sides. If you want to understand why Tank's response has split the sport right down the middle, stay with me, because this is the moment where the controversy truly explodes.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and he's getting what he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything, doesn't do any promotion.
Sources close to Davis say the hospital images did not frighten him at all, but instead amused him as he laughed, replayed the knockout, and repeated the same line again and again that Jake was never built for real boxing. And before judging that reaction, it is important to understand the long history of bad blood that led to this moment.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here. It's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line. They were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would...
This rivalry did not begin with Joshua. It started months earlier when Jake publicly called out Tank, mocked him, questioned his professionalism, and ignited tension around a fight that was meant to happen in Miami. And do not go anywhere, because the breakdown of that matchup explains everything that is unfolding now.
AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end, that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
When legal problems canceled the fight, Jake did not stay silent and instead went all out, attacking Tank across social media, calling him garbage, unprofessional, and even worse. And that moment created a score that Tank has been waiting to settle ever since.
And doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit boxer.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.